God, my back. Good morning, Overlord. Oh, don't mind me. That I was yawning as I said that. How be you this morning? This layout kind of looks like a schedule. I'm seeing double. Oh, wow. Again with the staying up. Overlord. You best be going to bed, alright? Oh. May the sickness go away soon and that you can get plenty of rest. 3 weeks of being sick? Yikes. Have you gone to a doctor? Is it the flu? Is it a cold? You say it hasn't been bad, but it's been affecting you for 3 weeks. I would say that is considered bad enough that it's still ongoing. I don't know what the typical life expectancy is for sicknesses. Oh! Siblings sharing sicknesses. Ah, just like we get when we were younger. What's with us kids and doing that to each other? Mon chéri. Oh, there's a whole little... Oh, okay, I didn't know there was a whole little building behind the... Ah. Great. There's so much to this building. Thank you for the week watch streak. Damn. The Sunday sickies. Oh. Oh yeah? More time for Minecraft. Ah. That is true. That is true. Which I am grateful and thankful that you have. I mean, sad that it was under circumstances of you having to be sick, but hey! Hopefully you get better soon. And that you can rest more once the sickness passes. That's okay. That's entirely alright, Overlord. Even just popping in and saying hi for like a second is perfectly fine to me. I mean, I've had a few people who like have done that where they like followed me and then for like a week they were here and then I haven't seen them in a hot minute and then they'll pop in and be like, "What's up?" And it's like, "Oh wait." Like that Mr. Plank person, they followed me back in like March and they said like just a few messages during that one stream they were in and they hadn't popped back in until, you know, that stream the other day. Which was a bit weird, but they were a bit weird, but you know. That's what kind of happens when you're anonymous on the internet. People kind of like to be a bit weird about it. Oh, sweet. Kind of like what Mercer does when he's at work. He pops in every often. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And we're like, "Hey, Mercer." I went outside the gate, still you're there too. Think of it like this, Overlord. Having those friends that you don't really talk to every single day, but every time you do start talking again, it's like, oh, you remember why you're still friends, because it's just so easy to fall back into that conversation. I'm like one of those people where it's like, you don't have to talk to me every single day, but when you do acknowledge me and talk to me, I'm like, what's up, buddy? I say that because I have a few friends like that who we don't really talk every single day. And then out of the blue, one of us will be like, hey, look at this thing. And we're like, what's up? Oh. Oh no. For the rest of the winter? For like, so until like actual springtime? Oh. Like February, March? Depends on where you live, I guess. Spring is different for every place. Oh, May? Whew. Jeez. Oh, love that. At least you know how to fix it, right? Somewhat. Yeah. That's the hope, right? Something simple and not expensive. Oof. You're saying that's the cheapest. Oh. Ugh. Car parts, man. Car parts be expensive! Yay! Four, three, two, one. It's too late to go. It sneakily broke. And you're not alright. Wish you could see her. Wish you could hear her. The days go by without you by my side. Wanna be near you. All the tears I cry for you. Cold and hopeless heart tonight. Will we ever get to fly away? I never felt so lonely. Worlds apart with no end in sight. Will we ever have to live in the past? Did it pop while you were driving it, or like just one day you just heard it pop while it was parked? Because I remember being in my brother's truck when the axle broke. That was fun. Front. It was the front one. We were on a mountain road. Funny how his truck couldn't hold up to it, but our mom's car that is more meant for, city roads did. It's such an awful noise hearing it break. It's like, oh. Yeah, we were up, thankfully we weren't too far in the mountains. We were close to, like, one of the main lakes and everything, so there were still plenty of people around us. And it was, like, Labor Day weekend or something like that. It was some kind of, like, holiday weekend. So, our trike breaks down. It's me, my brother's trike breaks down. It's my mother and I who were going solo camping with my two dogs, my two little dogs. And so we have to start making a trek. Like, we lock the car up, get the dogs, and start making a trek back to, like, to get cell service, to call my brother to let him know, to, like, hey, call AA to, have him come get the truck and then come drop the car off to us so we can swap everything over into the car and still go camping. Thankfully, two different nice groups of people saw us. One gave us a ride a good portion of the way, and then the other was a father and son heading back into the city who were like, hey, you need a ride? And so thankfully they gave us a ride to the rest of the way to get to a gas station to call my brother and everything, where we waited for him and then swapped out the vehicles, which he had to take an Uber back home and everything and then talk with a mechanic over what happened exactly. It was... Thankfully, it was also later in the evening, too, and not when the sun was at its peak, because that would have been even worse. Limped it home. You don't own that ball. No, no.
Stretcher.
Stretch. Ugh. Oh, my back. Yee, stretch. This is rigged. Oh my gosh. My back is just stretch, 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 pop, pop, pop. Mercer's missed at least one. That's about all I know. Hey, you got something from it. You were given something for it. They made it all better. Fuck you, Paul. And you still did it within a week. It would take me a lot longer than a week because I'd keep forgetting. You probably shouldn't be watching stream then if you got a headache. Drink some water and at least try closing your eyes. Yeah, that's a, drink water, take some medicine, and maybe like have an ice pack or something against either the back of your neck or your forehead, whichever feels better. Though the back of the neck regulates temperature better, so I said drink some water and take meds or put an ice pack either against the back of your neck or your head. Back of the neck tends to help better since it regulates temperature better. That's why you see athletes when they have the towels wrapped around their necks, which I didn't even know. I thought that was just like a place to just casually hang the towel. Nope, turns out it serves a purpose. Hot sauce? What? No. That's the opposite of what I said. Hot sauce? Just get a washcloth and get it damp and then put it in the freezer or something. That's what I did as a kid. And then I'd also munch on the washcloth as it was frozen because sensory things. Oh, okay. I was like, huh? Yes, that works. My heart's a stereo. It beats for you, so listen close. Hear my thoughts in every note. Oh, oh. Make me your radio. Dusty record on my shelf. Would you put me off and play me like everybody else? Apologize for any skipping tracks. Maybe left a couple cracks. Not to make you understand. Go right ahead. Oh, interesting. Weird. Oh, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. It's like you weren't here for this stream. Not really. $23. Damn. I don't blame you. Just pain that you were passing down. I'm older and I'm for you now. First time on earth too. Mm-hmm. And I know that you know that I won't blame you. Pain that you were passing down. I'm older and I'm with you now. Mm-hmm. Ooh, heck yeah. Either you popped in long enough, or I didn't stream 2 days ago. Did I? I don't know. I other than the countdown to when I go to see my boyfriend, I'm like, what are the days anymore? Today's Saturday, right? I think. 600 men. One lies in between. Waiting. I gotta do everything around here. Draws another comic page. Shit. Some people are fucking hilarious. Who knows? Live off here. I see fire, but there's no smoke. Shut up, Eurylochus. Nobody asked you. Nobody asked you, Eurylochus. Shut the fuck up. If Eurylochus has no haters, I'm dead. I'm fucking Polites. Just this. All Eurylochus does the entire fucking musical is second guess and question Odysseus the entire fucking time, even though he's only ever had their best interest at heart up until, you know, the actual fucking betrayal of Eurylochus, where he's like, yeah, even though I know you explicitly told me what was in the bag, I opened the bag. And it's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Eurylochus. Odysseus is a better man than me, because it would have been on site in that moment. And there's a reason he told you to grab a torch, Eurylochus. There's a reason he told you to grab a torch. I remember black skies, the lightning all around me. I remembered each flash as time began to blur. Like a startling sign, the fate had finally found me. I know it's the musical does have a few changes compared to the actual story, so I don't know what happens in the actual story. Like, I don't know fully what happens. All I know is Odysseus is the last one to actually get home after a bunch of shit goes wrong. But in the musical, Eurylochus is just second guessing him and questioning him the entire fucking time, even though he's his best friend slash brother-in-law. Literally, his brother-in-law. That is Penelope's brother. So Eurylochus should be understanding. You would think if any of the men had wives or quote-unquote families like they say they had, They would have understood Odysseus, but none of them did. None of them seemed to understand Odysseus. So it's like, were any of you fucking loyal to your wives? Did any of you actually had someone you want to go back to? Especially you, Eurylochus. He opens the fucking windbag and then blames Odysseus for it. And then kills one of the sun god's cows and blames Odysseus for it. Like, no. Odysseus had every right to choose himself in that final moment. They were almost home. They were literally almost home. And then Eurylochus opened the windbag because he couldn't wait 5 more fucking minutes. If I, like, there's like a bunch of versions of when the windbag gets opened and everything. They are apparently so close to home that they could smell the fires of the people on the beaches and everything. Like, they could smell the fires of the city, of food cooking and shit. They could hear the town. They could hear the city. They were that close. They were so close. And then Eurylochus was like, I think there's treasure in this bag, so I gotta check. They just wanted to get back to Ithaca. Across. That, exactly. Exactly. It was no reason for him to have opened the bag. He, like, so, the wind god gives him the wind bag, and Odysseus explicitly tells them, don't open this. Do not open this. Okay, there is no treasure in here, even though the Winians try and be like, guys, there's treasure. Like, the Winians kind of try and, like, whisper into the crew's ear, like, there's treasure in the bag. Open it. And Odysseus is like, don't fucking open it. Which, you'd think you'd listen to your fucking captain and not these strange mythical beings who have only caused you trouble when you listen to them. But no. Eurylochus apparently... Because Odysseus nods off for just a second. He's standing there keeping watch over the bag, and he closes his eyes for just a second. And so, Eurylochus is like, I'm gonna just take a peek. And then shit goes wrong, and they get blown halfway across the fucking world again, and Eurylochus doesn't come clean until they go to face Scylla. He keeps that shit to himself, and nobody comes clean, so Odysseus doesn't know who did it, but that's when he's starting to be a little bit like, maybe I don't fully trust my crew if they're not coming forward on this. But so, Eurylochus literally tells Odysseus, right as they're about to go face Scylla, he's like, Captain, I can't hide this from you anymore. I opened the windbag. And so in that moment, Odysseus is like, something snapped in him, and he tells him to go light a torch. Which, for Scylla, the way to get past her is you have to sacrifice 6 men, sadly. Keep the heads busy eating, and then you can sail right past her. So that's what Odysseus did, is he had 6 torches lit up, and the Scylla heads went after everyone who was holding a torch. Eurylochus was originally holding a torch, until he handed it off to somebody else to try and save a fellow crewmate. And then he puts it together at the end. Once they, like, actually get past Scylla. He's like, wait a second. And it's like, Eurylochus, are you really gonna fucking blame him? Are you really gonna blame him? Like, I don't blame Odysseus in the fucking slightest. You're done. You're done. And then Eurylochus has the audacity to try and play the pity card right as Zeus is about to kill him and the other crewmates. He's like, but Captain, we're gonna die. And it's like, haha, yeah, guess whose fault that is? Who killed the cow, Eurylochus? Who killed the cow? You were literally told not to. But okay. He didn't give him another chance. It was, so after the whole Scylla thing, when Eurylochus realized that Odysseus planned to have him killed, they get into a fight. And so Eurylochus manages to somehow convince the rest of the crew that Odysseus is crazy. I'll get us somewhere safe during the fight. And so they turn on Odysseus, and he gets tied up and is essentially held captive as they go sailing and find that island. He wakes up when they're already on the island, so Odysseus is like, oh no, no. And Eurylochus is like, this island is just full of cows. And oddly enough, there's this statue of the sun god right here. I wonder what it could mean. Oh well, time to choppy because we want burgers. And so Odysseus is like trying to tell him, no, don't. And then he kills it. And it's like, Odysseus is like, we're all fucked. We are so fucked. These were the sun god's cows. Do you know who they send? Yep, you're so right. Because Odysseus, for a brief moment, they untie him, and he's like, guys, we need to go. We need to go right the fuck now. And so they try to escape the island, but of course Zeus catches them. And then the whole Song of Thunderbringer happens, which is a fucking bop. And it's essentially Zeus being like, all right, you have a choice. Who dies? And Odysseus is like, you know what? Fuck this crew. Fuck this crew. And he's so right. He's so right for that. He gave them the chances, and they fucked them up. He's only ever done things to keep them all alive and safe. The only time they actually had mass losses was when they stopped listening to him and panicked. And that one time, you know, Poseidon was like, I'm going to drown about 400 of your men. But, you know, that was unavoidable because, you know, they were on the water. Anybody but me. Exactly. Odysseus is like, them. And what's so cold about the whole thing is that, Eurylochus is like, but Captain, we'll die. And he just looks at him and he's like, I gotta see my wife. That's a man right there. He said, fuck this crew. Y'all been keeping me from my wife. He gave them so many chances. And he still tried to help save them after the mutiny. It was only when they were faced with Zeus, the literal god king, that he's like, okay, I'm tapping out. He's like, I'm taking my ticket and leaving. Even though he didn't actually get to leave after that. Zeus kills his crew, and then he gets stuck on Calypso's island for about 7 years. Because she does not let him leave. Because if you know anything about Calypso, Calypso has an island that she was banished to when she was younger because she's the daughter of Atlas, I believe, if I remember correctly. She's the daughter of one of the Titans or whatever, and so she had helped her father Odysseus believed in the good in people. And Eurylochus hadn't really done anything to betray him up until the windbag point. He just kept questioning his choices and, like, second-guessing him. But otherwise he was still, like, loyal and still did as Odysseus asked up until the windbag portion. And it's like, oh. But, with the Calypso Island bit, Calypso is her island is impossible to find or get found. You just kind of happen upon that island. Like, the gods kind of will it that someone ends up on that island every so often. And so what it is a punishment for both people. Because for Calypso, it's she falls in love with whoever ends up on her island because it's like the first time she's had people on her island, and she's like, oh my god, she like grows to love them and stuff like that, and it's kind of sad. But in the musical version, she's a bit of a gaslighting bitch. But in the original story, for like the story for her island, she is like, that's her prison. She can never leave. She has invisible like caretakers and everything to help care for the island, but otherwise it's just her. She doesn't ever get to see anyone else, except for when a god or goddess comes to be like, hey, this person's gonna be chilling with you for a while or some shit like that. And so Odysseus gets washed up there by Zeus, and Calypso immediately becomes smitten with him, and the first interaction with the two of them is he wakes up and she's like, hey, you're mine now. By the way, who's Penelope? You were talking in your sleep. And he's like, that's my wife? And her face is like, oh, Pikachu shock. Anyways, and literally, that's all she does the entire time he's there is try to get him to cheat and forget about his wife. But he doesn't, because he's the most loyal motherfucker there is, and all he wants is his wife. So literally, it's her trying to gaslight and gatekeep and be like, oh, but I love you. You love me. We're like, this is paradise. You don't ever want to leave. Blah, blah, blah. And he's kept there for about 7 years. The time changes depending on which version of the story it is. But yes, she keeps him there for 7 years. And in some versions, she manipulates him by making fake children to try and get him to, stay. Like, she makes them out of driftwood or whatever in his image, and it's kind of fucking creepy that she, like, does it. But, again, that's depending on which version of the story you read. But in the musical, keeps him there for 7 years, even though he tries to escape countless times. And at one point, he was thinking about, like, ending his life because he was getting so depressed and everything. And then Athena, who, she's the one who taught him a lot of what he knew. Because, she met him when he was a younger boy and became quote-unquote friends with him. And essentially chose him as her champion, so he learned a lot from her. But they had a spat, and so she hadn't checked up on him in a while. Sees that he's being held captive by Calypso, so she goes to Zeus and barters to get him free. And then, gets him free. Hermes goes before Calypso and's like, okay, let the man go. You gotta let him go. He's not yours. And so her next song is the most gaslight song you will ever hear. It's literally, she's like, I'm sorry that my love was too much for you. That's literally how the song goes. She's like, I'm sorry that my love was too much for you, that you couldn't love me back because I was too much, but I love you. I love you so much. And he's like, okay. And it's like, oh, girl. So eventually, he's let go, and finally, the journey back home. But my god, it's so funny. It's a gaslight song, but it's also such a good song. Like, the beat for it is so good. Oh yeah, poor Odysseus. He goes through it. And that's just to get home. Then he gets home and he has to deal with the fucking suitors who are like literally breaking down the door to try and get to his wife and, kill his son and take over as king. Which I never got that in my mind. Like, if his son was prince, wouldn't his son have been made king when he was like 18? Because his son is like 20 by the time he gets back home. Because he's gone for 20 years. But I would have thought his son would have been made king in that time. And, you know, that would have gotten rid of the problem of the suitors. But whatever. Yeah, true. It would have been like the moment they thought the king wasn't coming back. Like, I know there's been like 10-year-old kings before. They would just have a regent. Someone named regent until they were 18 and could properly claim the throne. But there was, like, I don't see any reason why he couldn't have been made, Telemachus couldn't have been made king. I don't. It would have saved so many problems. They wouldn't even have the problem of suitors. Because there was no one to, you know, take over as king if it went to him. When they hit puberty, pretty much. Blech. They weren't men, they were boys! Now, my favorite little fact about the Odysseus versus the suitors fight is that in some versions of the story, Odysseus is completely naked! Because he had no clothes after being, you know, on a raft for however long just to get that final stretch back. So he shows up completely naked and just decimates the suitors. It's so funny. Now that's a true power move, just showing up fucking naked and killing the lot of them. Oh, for sure. I mean, if you think about it, like, since, really, for them, they were essentially, the moment anyone could walk and talk back in that day, they're like, okay, now you gotta learn a skill, child. You gotta learn to do something. Nowadays, it's like, they're just like, oh, let them be a child for as long as they can be. And it's like, well, that's not bad. It's kind of taken effect on how kids nowadays are. The maturity level has gone way down for sure. Especially, like, I watched a video about these two women who are teachers in middle school. They're about my age, or a little bit older, and... Hello, Oichokami. I mean, that's another thing about it, is that showing up naked and then just seeing how well endowed he was a bit terrifying for some of those men. Just saying. It was a scary... I mean, that's why Romans were naked. You know that, right? That's part of the reasons why Romans fought naked. The shock value of it all. But yeah, I watched a video about these two middle school teachers who are close to my age. And they're like, these are things that we had to do in middle school that would absolutely send our students into a fit. And it's literally every experience I ever had in school of like... Oh, we had to, you know, have physical textbooks. We had to have summer reading where we had to read an entire chapter book and then write like a little essay about it at the end of the summer. We have we'd have to have like actual covers for our textbooks, so they, like paper paperback covers and stuff like that, or certain tests, and it's like, oh my god. What have they done to the education system here in America? What happened? Like, non-native English speakers, I'll give them a pass for when they misspell things. But when I see someone born in America, English is their native language, and I am seeing them spell the most simple words. So wrong. Odysseus was a baby! Which also proved his son could have taken over at any time. His son could have taken over any time. It makes sense for the story. It wouldn't have been it would have been anticlimactic if, his son would have become king and solved all the issues. But nah, we wouldn't have the story we have today. Speaking of the Odyssey, so we have a beautiful, awesome musical that Jorge gifted us, right? Yeah, so I don't know if this was on the coattails of Epic the Musical coming out, or this was an idea they were planning, and it just coincidentally they said they were like revealed their stuff right as it was finishing, but so they're doing a live action of the Odyssey, so a remake of the story. I don't know when the last time they made an Odyssey movie was. I want to say fucking decades ago, probably. But so they're making an Odyssey movie, right? Right? I hesitate to call it an Odyssey movie because apparently they're removing all the myth and magic from it, which is a huge part of the story. Myths and magic. There are gods in this story. There are magical creatures in this story. There is Circe, who has she's a magical being with a magical island. No, from the words of the mouth of the directors, they want it to be a more real story, so they're getting rid of literally everything mystical and magical about the story. So literally, it's just going to be a sea voyage, pretty much. A boring sea voyage of these dudes going to war and then sailing back with nothing else happening in the middle. Exactly. It's literally giving us nothing. Oh, Okami! I don't think that movie will make it. I don't think it'll make it. Just because it's just such an awful direction to take the story, because it's the original story of the Odyssey has all those myths and legends, because that is literally part of their history and part of their culture is those myths and legends, and the gods are such a huge part of it. Athena is like literally a huge part of Odysseus' story because she is the reason, like, she helps him become king and everything because she realizes his potential. And she helps everyone else see that with the magical boar and everything. It's like, what exactly are you giving us if not the Odyssey? What are you giving us? If I wanted a boring movie with no fantasy or anything, I'd go watch like a sports-based movie. Like Concussion or something like that. Like, I'd go watch one of those sports-based movies that are so boring to watch. Like, I'm sorry. No offense to anyone who does like watching them, they're just not my kind of movies. I like action, adventure, fantasy, sci-fi, you know, non-fiction. A magical boar. Right? Right, Overlord? A lot of people are outraged about it, because it's like, that's not the Odyssey then. You have no right to claim it as the Odyssey if you're getting rid of all the myth and magic in it. You're just making some boring, like, what the fuck? Call it something else. Don't call it the Odyssey when you're not even staying true to the Odyssey. Like, it's fine to change few things here and there narratively. That's what Jorge did. He did a few slight changes, but overall stayed true to the story. What are these people doing? They're changing everything about it. Quite literally everything. Magical boar! But what kind of magical boar do you want, Okami? What kind of boar do you want? I'd want a javelina. Boring sea. It's not the Odyssey, it's the boring sea. Not afraid to close my eyes. For everyone, and love is the prize. When it's all over. Mm-hmm. Magically makes pancakes. Exactly, H2 Okami. I feel like they just want to get the popularity from having the Odyssey name hooked onto their story, even though it's not even the Odyssey anymore. Especially because there's the whole craze of Epic the Musical got people really hyped for the Odyssey. And so then we all heard, oh, a movie's coming out, and then it's like, oh, wait, no, it's a disappointment. It's a huge fucking disappointment. Make your own story, people. Don't fucking... Same with my feelings about live actions. Like, I've had my fill of live actions, please and thank you. No more. Like, I can't believe we're already getting a Moana live action when we just had Moana 2. They're speedrunning. They're literally trying to speedrun all their big movies. And it's so I'm sorry. I hate... like, Lilo and Stitch ruined Lilo and Stitch. How to Train Your Dragon. I refuse to touch the live action one because I have a lot of gripes and groans about live action remakes. They piss me off. Cause what do you mean, Nani's like, fuck this, I'm gonna go to California instead of staying in Hawaii to go learn about, you know, being a a marine biologist or something like that. Even though Hawaii's got the best schools for that kind of shit. But no, she's not only leaving to California, she abandons her sister to the foster system, essentially. The whole fucking Lilo and Stitch movie is literally just a white colonizer movie in disguise. They're essentially just trying to get rid of the message of Ohana means family, because in the end it's like, no, fuck family. Natives, move out, give your homes to other people. That's essentially what we get from the live action of Lilo and Stitch. Because they completely removed, they completely fucked up Jumba and Pleakley. And then they got rid of Gantu. They completely got rid of Gantu. So the main quote-unquote villain isn't there. They make it, I guess, Cobra Bubbles is the villain, essentially. It's like... yeah, once they ruin a good movie... they are ruining all the movies I used to... Yes! There are only 2 live actions remakes I will stand by that are actually decent. And that is the Beauty and the Beast one, because they actually added on to the story and gave it more life and made it more unique and cool. And the songs in that one are beautiful. And Lady and the Tramp, because they also added on to it and gave it more story and gave it more meaning. They added on to it in a way that makes it better instead of worse. Like in Beauty and the Beast, they tell us more about Belle's mother and what happens to her. We get to see like the Beast has more than just the book, or not the book, but the mirror to just watch someone. He has an actual book where he can go visit places, which is so much cooler, that little detail. Or like the villagers being some of the family of those who were turned into furniture. That was a nice touch. In Lady and the Tramp, they actually give you more backstory of why Tramp doesn't trust humans, and especially doesn't like babies. Well, not that he doesn't like babies, but that that's why he sees babies as a bad thing. When there's a dog in the house, he's like, oh, they're gonna get rid of you. Because literally that's what happened to him. His family, the couple that he was with, they just apparently couldn't handle having a dog and a newborn at the same time, which, fuck people like that. Don't fucking have either then. Jesus. If you can't take care of one, why even have both? But, so, they end up, getting rid of Tramp, and not in the leaving him at the pound. No, they drive to the middle of the city. The dad gets out, throws a ball, and then they just run off. They get back in the car and take the fuck off. And it's like, I fucking hate people. I fucking hate people. They're the worst. The biggest disease on this planet is mankind. Oh, we also meet some new characters in the, well, not new characters. It's characters we know from the animated one, but in the live action they get a little more story to them. And so when they get adopted, it's actually them being adopted that kind of changes Tramp's mind about, like, wait, okay, maybe humans aren't all bad. And it's a really cute detail. I would have chosen the dog over the baby. Okay, you go get some rest, Overlord, and I hope your head feels better and that you also feel better as a whole soon. May the sickness go away. Oh, thank you for the posture check. Strip. Bye-bye, Overlord. Thank you for stopping by. Turn the mouse. One of the songs from the Epic the Musical was playing, and then I started telling Overlord about the Odyssey in general, and like how the difference version compared to the musical, how like there's slight changes in storytelling based on which version you either read or hear. We were just talking. I was just telling him the story of how the musical version goes. you're good. I would just the one of the songs from Epic the Musical was playing, and so I started telling Overlord about the differences in the musical compared to the actual Odyssey story. Rainbow. One bullet in the chamber. No, you're good. You're good. Thank you. Just vibing too. In a corner of a heart, you and me. Touching lights with the lost ones in the night. It's a vibey time. Don't turn out the lights. Carnival hearts. Exactly. Just a fox in your pocket vibing. Just a vibbin'. And a constant urge to pee. Fence of my liver. I can hear her now saying she ain't gonna have it. Just a little less dramatic, like a Kennedy when Cadillac went out in flames. Looking at the time, I'm gonna have to call this stream here, so I have an hour or so to get ready for work. Big stretches. Oof. I want to thank everyone who stopped by during the stream and everyone who's catching the VOD after. I hope you all have a good day, evening, night, morning, whatever time zone it may be for y'all. And I will catch you in the next stream. Bye-bye.